Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by the Topoco Lodge. The Topoco Lodge currently closed, but they're doing maintenance and deep cleaning work to make sure that they're ready to go when the all clear is finally sounded, and it will be sounded. But right now, you can buy gift cards online or by phone or by email. All you have to do, visit topoco.com, visit their Facebook page. Heck, they've even got an Instagram feed for more information. Help support a piece of history, the historic Topoco Lodge. Gift cards now available for when they open back up. All right, going to start a new segment today. While we're in our social distancing mode, and it's a smaller crew, I'm just going to let people discuss best game, best performance, best play, et cetera, et cetera. And today I wanted to start it. Hindsight 2020, we're calling it, because it's the year 2020, and I thought that sounded cool. But we're going to talk about the most amazing game. And I asked these guys, what's the most amazing Tennessee football game that you saw or covered? I'm going to start with Vince because Jimmy and I had the exact same list in order. Vince did not. So let's go ahead and put Vince's list up here. We've even got a little logo with a man looking backwards with binoculars. Vince's list, and we'll let you run through it there. Your number one most amazing game was the Hail Mary.
Yeah. And first of all, thank you for this is a great topic. It was a lot of fun to do. It was difficult to me to do, but I ended up studying this and researching it for hours well into the night, coming up with a list. But yeah, that Hail Mary game, there were so many things that happened within the game. You had the Jalen Hurd coasting towards the end zone and fumbling into the end zone. You had the Josh Dobbs rushing touchdown. You had the touchdown with 10 seconds to go that was unbelievable that they gave up. So there were so many things. And then, of course, the unbelievable ending. I think it was well played. I didn't realize that Tennessee was ranked higher. I'd forgotten about that. They were ranked higher. Number two, look, that's the one that's probably odd that people are like, what? I think that that game with 1,439 yards of total offense, both teams with 700 plus in that game, was just something we hadn't seen before. Bray setting the all-time single-game passing record, just ridiculous. There were 69 first downs in the game, on and on. It was at the time it was unbelievable. Plus, I didn't want to go all 2016 games. And the third one was another game very well played. Two top 10 teams, first loss of the year for Tennessee. Certainly a ton of opportunities for the Vols, 7 turnovers in the game, a chance maybe to go for 2 late when Kamara scored with under a minute to go. There was strategy. There was a Malik Foreman punch out on the Travion Williams run down the sideline that kept Tennessee from being down 2 scores.
Great football game.
There were just a lot of really interesting things. Dobbs was fantastic in a lot of statistics, but then he had the 4 turnovers as well. Just an unbelievably well-played game. Overall, I think it was an amazing game.
Okay, and now the old-timers. Our lists are a little different, and let me go ahead and put up Jimmy's list here. And just hang on, Jimmy. What I'm realizing I should have done was just make one list with both our names. Flip it to John's list, because it's the exact same list. And I'll let you talk about it, Jimmy. We both had Sugar Bowl, Miracle at South Bend, and then the Sterner fumble. Your thoughts on those games? Why you ranked them that
We'll
way?
start with number 3, the Sterner fumble. I mean, that's a game that Tennessee, they trailed like 21-3. They were going to lose this game. They didn't have much of a chance. They rallied. They came back. And then late in the game, Tennessee had the ball and failed on 4th down with about a minute and a half left. Game's over. Arkansas is going to run out the clock, right? And then Houston Nutt decides to have his quarterback roll out. He stumbles. His own offensive lineman steps on him based on a push from Ratliff. And next thing you know, Tennessee's got the ball back and they go down the field. They don't win a national championship that year, in my opinion, without that win. And that, by the way, was a really good Arkansas team. Really good Arkansas team.
I had forgotten that the officials had screwed up in that game as well.
They did.
They allowed Arkansas safety when the guy kicked it through the end zone, when technically Tennessee should have been given the option of taking the ball at about the, what would have been, inside the 10-yard line.
About the 4-yard line.
Mm-hmm. So the game may have played out a completely different way. But I was down. I had just moved to Ohio at the time, and that was the only game I made it down for that season. And just remarkable being in that stadium. That was one where you could feel the stadium shake because no one expected that to happen.
And another side note to that was that as Tennessee got the ball back and they just lined up and pounded them, Philip Fulmer's telling David Cutcliffe, you got to run it here. You got to throw it here. You got to throw it here. And David said, nope. Bam. They just gave it to Travis Henry and they just plowed right through Arkansas.
I've never seen another game where the momentum flipped that completely, that quickly. Because Tennessee had had trouble moving in Arkansas all day.
Yeah.
And then they get the ball back, and it's that Arkansas team was so deflated. By the way, on Netflix, that Brandon Burlsworth movie is now at the greatest. I watched it the other day. It ain't the greatest. No offense, I mean, it's a great story,
Right.
but the movie's pretty low budget. But they include that Tennessee, Arkansas, and it's the way they shoot it is kind of sad. Miracle at South Bend, we've only got a minute here, but the Miracle at South Bend, another one of those is just incredible. If you do that against Louisville, it's still a great comeback, but the fact that the setting is what made it. And then, of course, you get the Sugar Bowl, which so many people, that's their number one game of all time.
Notre Dame led 31-7 at one point. And in fact, John Major's brother was with some people from Chattanooga, and they flew back at halftime.
Yeah.
And the brother was so mad because he didn't want to leave. And then the Sugar Bowl was incredible. Miami was not only favored, they were number 2 in the country. It was all about if you beat Tennessee, you're going to be the national champion. And Tennessee just destroyed. And Tennessee trailed 7-0 in that game, and then came back and destroyed them 35-7.
Yeah.
And can I just say, I only did it based on since 2010, since I've been in
Yeah.
Knoxville covering it. So that's why I didn't go as far back. I watched some of those other games, but I was a kid, kind of faint memories. But I went just 2010 on. There's just been a lot of insanity during that period of time. So that's why my list is a little more recent.
Well, exactly. And that's fine. That's
Yeah.
because if we all had the exact same list, it wouldn't have been a 8-minute segment, which it was. We'll do Hindsight 2020 in the weeks to come as well, with different viewpoints on different games and players and that kind of thing. When we come back, though, the NCAA is giving spring athletes an extra year, as we told you last week, but some schools are being naughty with the list, and some people are being nice. We'll talk about Tennessee and Wisconsin next.